This is Crash Canon. I am Chris, the host, and we have yet another guest on this program. He goes by LEPANTO or Mr. LEPANTO online. Who are you? What do you do? And what do you want to say about yourself?
Oh, I go by Lepanto. The Mister's too formal. We're friends here. Um, yeah, I had to get that name because there's some other guy who already took just the regular Lepanto. I think he moderates for Sam Shimon, so um,
Oh,
had to
really?
throw a qualifier. Yeah. In fact, the first time that Sam ended up on Sips with Sarah, that was actually the first time that I had like gone on there with him, like on screen. The great that's a great one to do, right, with Sam Shamoon. And he saw my name and he's like, "Are you my moderator?" I was like, "Nah, dude, I don't I don't know anything about that guy." So it's been a few times where I've been mistaken for that guy, but no, different man, Mr. Lepanto
That's
would
fun.
be my name. But I go by Lepanto. You don't have to do the Mr. It's mainly just you know, username thing. Um,
Shout
as
out
far
to
as what I
Danny's in the chat.
oh, of course, my man. What's up, Danny? Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, as far as what I do, um, I do stuff with cameras mainly. That's my main thing. Um, in the Catholic creator world, I've up till now been mainly a background character, sort of, um, and I just these days I do a lot of film, but I got into all this back with photography. That's my roots, but a lot of video these days.
But you do have a produced video on your YouTube channel that's, I will say, it's one of the highest pieces of, like, for a first piece of content on a YouTube channel, it's one of the highest quality ones I've seen.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I only did one video last year. I mean, technically I did two, but the second
It's
one
like
is
a
like a
part one,
2 minute.
too, right? Like, technically.
Yeah, I don't really count it because it's just like a little update to
Mhm.
because the problem was I did that whole video and um I felt there was a resolution at the end, but it just didn't feel right to include it.
Mhm.
So I ended up having to do a follow up video because I didn't want to just leave the story like that because there was resolution to that story afterwards. But yeah, I do have one piece of content sitting on my YouTube channel. But I hope to, put a lot of more videos this year.
What,
What happened last year was that I was actually thinking about this, and I have no idea what my direction before joining or sort of getting to know everybody in Kyle's Discord, all the whole Catholic Creator Guild. I don't remember what my plan was before all that because what ended up happening is once I joined that group, I sort of kind of hunkered down and made this little mini documentary that I've been wanting to do for so long. Because all that stuff that happened in the documentary happened in 2020. At this point, it was like 2023, 2024. I don't remember exactly when I started filming all that. But it sort of turned into like I want to sort of make this really well and sort of just show everybody that I can do good work, And I think that ended up happening because once I was sitting in the Discord talking to everybody and for months, and nobody really knew who I was. But after I put that film out, everybody in the creator space, at least as far as the Discord goes, they sort of took me seriously after that. And after that, I don't know, I kind of just settled in, um, and I've done a lot of stuff with Adrian ever since because we're just close enough to do that kind of work. Um, and I really like helping other people out. Um, and it just kind of lends itself. He's close, so whenever we go to events and stuff together, I'm usually the guy behind the camera. So that's usually how it works out.
Yeah, and also the guy behind the camera for Braden's music video.
Yes, that was fun. That's fun. You know what? Those are my favorite kind of videos to make. Is like anything that's a little bit of a joke, of like fun videos. That's kind of how I started with any sort of video project. Was just, hey, this is funny. Let's do this. I think if like social media and like YouTube was a bigger thing back when I was like in high school, I probably would have done a lot of uh I don't know, more like funny skit kind of things.
Well, are we close to the same age? I forget how
I'm
old are you?
30 I'm 35.
Okay, we're really close in age. I mean, I'm 33, you're 35. It's like YouTube was like brand spanking new when we were in high school.
Yeah. I don't really remember what I even would use YouTube for back then. I think it was a lot of just like, hey, I want to listen to that song, and then you'd go look up the music video.
It was like
Um,
MTV would upload YouTube videos for music videos and that kind of stuff. And where some bands were on the cutting edge and actually doing it.
yeah, a lot of the Vivo era too. I don't
Yeah,
remember how far
Vivo.
back that was, but man, everything was Vivo for a while, and then it just disappeared.
Oh no, Vivo still exists.
It's still around.
Yeah. There's still some Vivo channels out there making money for whatever that company is these days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were the days, man.
I mean, I remember my first YouTube channel was like 2000 and either early 2007 or late 2006. It was like right at the beginning when YouTube became free to upload to, but you could only do like 10-minute videos.
Yeah, see, it's funny because as much as I love to have a camera in my hand, I've never had the interest of doing YouTube until just very recently. It could have been fun, but I don't know why. I just never really cared about it until like now.
See, me and a bunch of my friends, when we were like early high school, freshman, sophomore year, we got a Sony digital camera. I got a Sony digital camera for like Christmas or something, and it was just to take pictures. That's when we discovered it had a video mode. And so we're like,
Nice.
oh man, we just watched, it was like one of the Jackass movies. We're like, we could do that kind of stuff. And so we filmed it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my share of that kind of stuff too. So we didn't have access to a camera, so nobody got to see anything.
That was my original, we'll say, foray into YouTube. Actually, that channel got a bunch of community guideline strikes back in the day. So preemptively, we took it down before YouTube did.
Nice.
That was fun. I'm not going to say what the channel name is. That way YouTube doesn't like try and find it. But yeah, that was an interesting point in my life.
Yeah.
But what was your, before you did YouTube, what would you do with film? Because clearly you have a love for film and cameras.
So film for me started, I got lucky because most of the things that you learn for still photography transfer very well over into moving pictures, into film or videos or whatever, depending on how pretentious you want to use or what word you want to use. The so when I met a guy when I was working in right after college. I was working at a place called Fry's Electronics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like a competitor to Best Buy. They don't exist
I
anymore,
know what you're talking about. I used to spend a lot of time with computer parts warehouse, hardware type stores.
Mhm.
So I know what
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
was
about.
working there, and I met a dude who he started working there. He's now one of my good friends. He was just there to raise money for his next independent film. And so we got to know each other, and I ended up going to help him film one his next indie film out in the Philippines for about half a year. That was super cool. But with him is when I really started to like do videos. Um, the like all the video cameras that we use now, like that was a time when it became accessible for the normal person to make a video because the cameras, like the regular still cameras, they finally got good 1080p video at that time. So hanging out with my buddy there, we started doing more and more things, doing independent films. He got me some work with like doing bar mitzvahs and weddings and stuff, just event sort of videography. It's funny, I've never really done a professional wedding or anything with photos, but I've done a ton of video. And so that's kind of how it started. And then after a while, I started doing stuff with my church. I was doing confirmation. I was a confirmation leader for a few years, and we had like a little tradition where the confirmation retreat was like a big deal. I'm sure that's the case everywhere. It was a big deal for everybody. And we'd take them to this camp locally, and the whole weekend was awesome, right? But in order to introduce like the rules for the camp, we let the like the peer leaders, the older kids, make like an instructional video telling the kids that were actually there at the camp like what the rules are. And every year there would be some sort of gag video or whatever. Um, so for like the 4 years that I was there, I was the one filming all that stuff and like writing it and stuff. And so it ended up being like a really fun little um, thing we would do every year. And like I said, it was one of those things that I loved because it's like a built-in joke, right? It's just fun. Um, and that was kind of the first time that I was like, oh, maybe I should use this kind of stuff for, you know, the Lord somehow, you know. We filmed like a little mini tiny documentary about confirmation there with my with the youth minister at the time. He's also a good friend of mine now. But that was more like a little trailer. I had gotten a hold of like a DJI drone, like right when they first came out. Like they were still attaching GoPros to it. You couldn't even get a live feed, but that was so cool. So we made like little things like that. I would film like the actual retreats and like the talks and stuff, right, like that. Um, and that's kind of all I did for a long time. Um, up until it wasn't until 2020 that's when the whole like tear down the statues movement came about,
Right.
and that's when all of like what's happening now kind of started.
And then I know you've talked about it a little bit, but tell me more about why you chose to put a mask on during your videos in the beginning.
The mask here, let me grab it. I think I have it right here. Good old Baldwin the fourth.
There you go.
I had a few reasons why I wanted to use this. um for one, it's just really cool.
It is.
I've always loved, like, now this is everywhere, right? You see them, all the clips and all the edits.
Yeah.
You've got Baldwin from Kingdom of Heaven like doing the whole kind of thing.
Yep.
Um, it's just freaking awesome. And at the time when I had this idea, he wasn't that big of a person in the Catholic zeitgeist. But just being a lover of film, I always remembered Kingdom of Heaven. And I know it's not like the most accurate or whatever, but it's still freaking awesome. And I
Yeah.
love Edward Norton's portrayal of Baldwin in that film. I always thought it was so dope. I mean, I remember the first time I watched it, I was in high school, and one of the lines he said there just has always stuck with me. It's talking about how when you stand before God, you can't tell him that other people have, you know, persuaded you to do to do all this. That whole line, I forgot the exact quote, but
Yeah.
ever since then, I liked this. And when I decided to start the channel, I wanted to do something. Everything was sort of a hint towards Our Lady, right? That's my name,
Yeah.
obviously, is a hint towards Our Lady. I'm Hispanic, so I'm Mexican, so Our Lady's huge. The town that my family's from in Mexico, it's a big Marian like apparition site. It's not really an apparition; it's more of it's one of those like kind of dolls that are venerated.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the second biggest place, like Marian site behind Our Lady Guadalupe. So she's always been in my life, and I love her. I love Our Lady. You know, super cliche. I'm Catholic. Um,
I'm assuming
but
that given your heritage, you were cradle Catholic.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
Makes
was
sense.
born pagan, baptized Catholic as an infant.
Right.
But yeah, when I started, obviously I got the name. The name was a tribute to Our Lady, but I also wanted to sort of maintain this like sense of humility. Maybe I just tell myself this, but I was like, if I can get like the mask on, I won't be able to get any sort of like,
Attention drawn to yourself.
yeah, that was one of the things. Um, and so part of it was a little bit I wanted to sort of be humble because I had a big plan. I had a bunch of plans for my channel with the mask and all that stuff. Now it's, you know, out the window. It doesn't work anymore. But that was the second thing. It was cool. I wanted it to be a little bit of a humble kind of thing. And two, or I think the biggest reason though was I wanted something to stand out.
Yeah.
And when I had like I said, when I had the idea at the time, there wasn't a bunch of people wearing masks online. Now it's kind of like I see it everywhere in like all the different genres of YouTube, different like corners of the YouTube world. Even on Instagram, I see dudes with like Crusader helmets on, or there was
The
this
one that
one
comes
guy.
to mind for me, I don't know if you ever heard of the guy, is Dank Souls. He wears like a straight up Crusader getup.
I don't know. I remember
He's
there
got
was.
like a couple million subscribers, guys. Like, look, I'm not recommending anybody go watch him, but he literally wears like a full Crusader getup, and because of the fact that he's like never revealed his face on camera, they did like a reveal thing, but they had PewDiePie dress up as him and take off the mask as a joke. So like, there's like
Oh,
all kinds of stuff going on there.
there's a guy that was sort of like that, right? I don't think it's the guy that you're talking about. He was a secular creator, but he did that several times where he had like these fake reveals. I don't remember who it was, but yeah,
Dank Souls is a secular creator. He is not Catholic. I'm not recommending it. I mean, he might be Catholic. His content's not Catholic though.
oh, okay. That might be the guy that I was thinking of
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
I had a similar idea that I wanted to do. Like now I can't do it, obviously, but I was gonna see if I could get like Laura Horn to
Oh,
like
that'd be
resurrect herself for a second and pretend to be me under the mask. Like I had a whole plan. It was gonna be awesome, but it's out the window now.
I mean, just if people follow your Instagram, it would have already been out the window.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there was a point where I was like toying with like, should I? Because I still don't have that many followers or anything.
No,
Um,
you could easily shut it back down, and I could
yeah,
always I could even blur you out on screen if I had to.
nah. You know what? I sat there and I thought about it for a while, and as cool as the mask was, because I even talked to Evan Ragas about it one time, and he's like, it's a cool thing, but it just presented too many problems. I was just kind of over it. I was just really over all the issues. Like one time, I was doing uh, I was documenting the Eucharistic procession. Um, you know the big one that they did from like the four corners of the United States, and they all met
Yeah,
in Indiana. Um, the year I think it was the year after, so it might have been this last year. I don't time my time frame's all wonky, but anyways, they went back. So they went back from Indiana back to the originating points, and the one that the Junipero Serra route ended up in Los Angeles, and they did a really cool thing in California here. They did a procession from the north all the way down to the south. So it's a lot. It's like 800 miles or something like that. Don't
that's
quote me on
long.
that, but it's yeah. So they processed the Eucharist from the northernmost mission all the way down to the southernmost mission, and then they met the national procession like midway, and then they had the closing mass at the cathedral in Los Angeles.
That's
But
cool.
um I really wanted to cover the whole thing, but I just can't, with the family and everything. So um I did make sure I covered when they came by to my mission, because I live about 10 minutes from the closest mission here in Ventura. Um and I was covering it, and it's cool. I've got the footage. I have a plan to do with it something with it later this year, but I was getting interviews from people, and I was like interviewing a group of nuns, and they're like, "Oh, this is nice. Well, what are you gonna do it for? What are you gonna like? Where's this going?" And I got to sit there and like tell them, "Oh yeah, this is my YouTube channel. Don't worry. The creepy mask is like it's nothing nothing bad or anything." So having to like sit there and explain the mask to people was just it was kind of a it was too much of a hindrance. So that at that point I
Yeah.
was like, "All right, I'm done. This is not uh, really what I wanted to do." So that's the story of the mask. Um, it was a cool little like thing. I wanted to try it. It was kind of cool, but I'm over it at this point.
If it makes you feel better, the closest thing to I guess technically the closest thing to a mask would be my beanie. And
Dude, that beanie works though. When you showed up to the creator conference when I first met you, I did not recognize you at all.
it's funny, it really does kind of disguise you. Like people don't recognize you without the beanie, but
Didn't Tim Pool say that that's one of the reasons why he wears a
that's what he
beanie?
said. Yeah, because you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
like I've seen him without it. I've seen a picture, and it's like, whoa, that's a different person.
yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
But
having
I've
Tim
been
say
wearing a
that.
beanie on screen for since 2018, 2019.
Nice.
So I
Very
mean, not
cool.
this channel, obviously, but that's just generally been my shtick, I guess. So I get it, like the anonymity thing and the not drawing attention to yourself in public and all that. It makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
So tell me more about like so you got Mexican heritage. It Were any of your family members involved with like Cristeros? Do you know, or just curious?
I don't think, as far as I know, the problem is I don't really know a whole lot about my family in Mexico, which is kind of a
Okay.
shame. Um, I did last time I was there. I did speak to my grandpa because I wanted to really get a little bit more information about all that kind of stuff. But it's been like, oh gosh, 6 years since I've been there. Last time I was there, my oldest was 1. We had taken him there. Um, but as far as I know, that nobody in my family was directly like involved. But in the town that I'm from, there was some activity there. It's pretty cool. I don't exactly remember what happened, um, but yeah, there was some stuff going on in the war. My grandpa was telling me all kinds of stuff. I don't really remember exactly what it was though.
Yeah, well, it probably has tons of stories that you'd have to sit there for quite a while to get all of them out of them. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. And these days, my Spanish is not as good as it used to be, so it's hard to like communicate properly down there. So
That makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
my Spanish is weak. I can speak a little bit, but it's pretty weak.
I still have the accent, which so a lot of people when I start speaking Spanish, like they can tell that I at least at one point spoke really well, but at this point, like I like if I go to Mexico, I'm fine. I can operate, but it gets to the point where I like sometimes I'll try to say a simple sentence and I'll forget a word, and I've got to make this like big roundabout way of saying something because I forgot one word.
Yeah, I was the one phrase that has always stuck with me. 'Cause my Spanish teacher said, "If there's one phrase you remember, this is it. It's donde está el baño."
Yeah, yeah.
That was the
Except you
one.
got to understand where they're telling you where it is, though.
That's true. Meanwhile, they're like hitting you with a couple like Spanish slurs on the way there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, that's not why I have you here. But so, question for you.
For Spanish slurs, we
Yeah,
can do
that's
I'm
not why
just
we're
kidding.
here.
You don't forget those. Those you don't forget.
That is, I knew the one. Like okay. I don't remember where I was, but I was saying something in high school, like there just happened to be an actual family speaking Spanish. Like, sweet, I could test my Spanish. I said something, and all I heard was like some words I recognized that were like making fun of me, and I was like, great.
No. You know what? That happens to me sometimes too, though, because there's been several times where people will say things about me that I can understand because I don't look the most Mexican, the area I'm from is very Europeanized, a lot of Spanish blood there. So there's a lot of times where people don't understand, don't think that I speak Spanish, and they'll say things behind my back, and I'm just like,
Feel like
so
I understand. I get it. Thanks.
I never confront them. It's like whatever.
No, there's no point. There's no point to
Yeah,
confront them.
but it happens.
All right, so there is something and this is something Kyle has been harping on for a long time. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. It seems like in the Catholic content world, especially the Catholic content world, but also in like merchandise and various other things, people think that being Catholic is enough to justify that people should watch their content. But there's this level of quality that's lacking in a lot of it's building up now. I see it in like various things. Like, for example, that if somebody had produced the music video for Braden Cook like 10 years ago, it would have just been, it's Catholic, so you should watch it. But here we are in 2025, 2026, actually, my goodness. And now we have like high quality, high definition, well produced music videos in the Catholic world. And it's like, that is something that was severely lacking. Like, what do you think that as Catholics, we owe each other higher quality production to entice future people into the faith? What do we need to do to catch up to the Protestants in America?
Okay, my opinion is there's kind of two roads going on, because you have that one side where it's very high quality, everything's buttoned down and it looks amazing, right? Like Word on Fire kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Ascension. Like I think it was Ascension. They did an insane video with Father David Michael Moses.
Yeah, I think they did do one with him. He's
Yeah.
the one that convinced me to start kneeling for communion at every single mass I go to.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah, they
like him
did
a lot.
one. They did an incredible video on confession, it's so highly produced, and I was kind of blown away when I saw it. So I went in and they I was looking at their socials, and they posted some behind the scene pictures. They had a full production. I mean, it was like a full Hollywood production to do that one that one video. And yeah, I mean, it shows it's colors good. I mean, there's crazy camera movements where they've got rigs, they've got like dollies and stuff. It was a really nice video. So you've got that side doing some amazing work, but then on the other side, which is you have like the guys that are sitting in their room and all they have is like their phone, and they're talking theology or they're doing apologetics or something, and they're killing it too, right? So it's like it's it's hard for me to just be like, yeah, everybody's got to be 100% amazing looking
Well,
quality.
but if you're
Everybody's
if
got
you're
to
if you're a Catholic all the time media company and you want to entice people to be part of that, I do think a higher level of production quality is expected versus like a
yeah,
sub. I'm not gonna. I like Christian Wagner a lot, but he's the video camera in the bedroom or
yeah.
workroom or office where he's just talking deep theology, and that's a different kind of audience than a mainstream hit everybody audience like Word on Fire is getting or Ascension Press.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that it's a generational thing, but like maybe it's a little bit of a generational thing, because you got a lot of these guys, and I'm assuming he's probably Gen Z, right?
Christian Wagner is very much Gen Z.
Yeah, so he's Gen Z. I mean, you look at like Redeem Zoomer. I mean, he's famous now for having just the ceiling
The
fan in the background.
the
Right? A lot
Minecraft.
of these guys, they just they just sit down and talk. Like I feel like a lot of Gen Z is just kind of tired of a lot of stuff. Like they don't want to deal with like the extra stuff, right? It's just like
They
get
want
to the point.
authenticity. They want
Yeah,
authenticity.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
They'd
Yeah,
rather have you and I talking on a camera, having an actual conversation, than some highly produced 60 minutes episode where you get Pope Francis saying no
yeah,
about women priests.
yeah, yeah. I think you hit it right on the head. It's the authenticity. Just sitting in your bedroom, like you. I mean, a lot of those guys too. Like they're not holding back with the stuff they say. So
Right.
I feel like you have to go either one way or the other, right? It's hard to be in the middle of that. It's hard to like try to be a little bit dipping your toe into good quality stuff. You got to be like Matt Fradd, or you got to be like like
Like what
Christian
we're doing.
Wagner or something. What was that?
Or like what we're doing.
Yeah, I get it.
Honestly, I would say though, like if my podcast ever took off, I would totally build a studio. Like I would definitely do it. I would do the Pints of the Aquinas thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd
I
bring
mean,
everybody that I had on a webcam back on, and we'd do the sit downs and the cigars and the whiskey and whatever else. It'd be fun.
it's funny you mentioned that, because that's kind of what Matt did. He did it's you put me on the same day that Matt Fradd did his first Daily Wire video with the GOAT, Dr. Brant Petrie. So got to compete with that, man.
Yeah, I got a little bit of
Um,
beef with Grant Petrie. You want to hear what it is?
really? What is it?
It's nothing, Chris. It's just it's silly. Whatever company he works with to produce like his books and stuff, they put
Mhm.
out this like 30-hour basically like college lecture, and it's called like the Mass of All Time. And
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh yeah, I want to listen to this. And then I looked at the price tag and I was like, $200 to
Yeah.
listen to. Nope. It's never
I
gonna
have
happen.
I have all of his sub $100 talks from his video because he's my favorite. He's my absolute favorite. I found him actually through Pints because he's been on there. This is his fourth appearance. He's only been on there. The first two were just call-ins back when Matt was doing only audio stuff.
Yeah.
Then he came on and did one where it was like Zoom. But then Matt after that was like, nah, I'm only doing in-person stuff. He hasn't been on there since. Now today he was finally in person. But the reason I bring it up is he kind of did exactly what you were doing. Um, the episode that he did was essentially one of the past ones that he's already talked about. They're talking about basically his book, The Case for Jesus, which talks about the reliability of the gospels and stuff. But he made an in-depth, like high quality, in-person, 3 hour long version of his original um, interview with him. So it's super dope.
Yeah, like I
But
said, if this podcast somehow actually made it, I'm not suggesting it will, but if God wants it to, it will. Um, I would definitely do that kind of thing. That would be something I would consider doing.
oh yeah, dude, if God wants this to go, I mean, I don't understand what's going on right now. I don't really get the algorithm yet. Um, but this show is awesome. I'm actually honored to be on it because I love all the conversations that you have on here. You've had incredible guests. I mean, you've had Taylor Marshall. That's freaking insane.
Yeah,
And
he's cool behind the scenes too, by the way. Like he's really just a great guy all around.
yes, that's kind of like seems like most people in this space are. But I love the fact that everybody is like you're very like both. I know this is part of your sort of like mission, right? Like both sides kind of thing. Because you've got like Avoiding Babylon, and on the other side you've got religious hippie. So it's like both people on the same show. You don't get a lot of that, especially in this space. I think that's freaking really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I came into this doing basically saying like no gatekeeping. I want to have, as long as they're well-meaning. I'm not going to have anybody who's like not bad. What's the right word? I don't want to have anybody who's like actually not a good person on this show. But in general, like no gatekeeping.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's always been kind of a goal of this show, is to have a diverse set of voices who all believe in the Catholic faith.
Yeah. Just keep it up, man. I think you just need one episode to pop off and people will be like, oh man, look, Taylor Marshall.
I finally gave up fighting the shorts. I'm going to do the shorts finally.
Are you?
Yes. I launched one today. So if it comes up in your feed, do me a favor and like it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I do that for everybody. If I know them, if I'm personally friends with them.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about anybody watching.
Oh yeah. I forget. I thought this is my first interview. I forget that we're live. we're just chatting as buddies.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you at the conference. I know you had a camera in your hand like 90% of the time, but it was cool to finally meet you.
Yeah, I didn't. Part of the reason I didn't recognize you, I think, because I wasn't sure that you were going. I didn't expect you there.
I wasn't originally. That's a long story. It just sort of kind of worked out. Let's just put it this way. God must have wanted me there because it happened. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was so much fun that whole. I mean, we could spend probably hours talking about just the conference. I get the feeling that was a special year, because now it's getting bigger. Like, gosh, we had, what was it, 80? I think it was 80 people, somewhere around there at the conference. And next year we're going to do like close to 500 or something like that.
So I think it's 300, maybe plus a few.
Well, it's like 300 like people, and then plus like the staff and all that stuff or whatever. But I still count everybody because we're all hanging out anyways.
Yeah.
But it was just like the perfect amount of like a lot of people and also still intimate, It was really
well, and everybody got to talk to each other. Like, I don't think there was anybody that was there unless I really just had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
And even then, like, for example, Sarah Stock, I didn't know who she was, but I got to meet her. And then afterwards I interviewed her, and she's a cool person too. And everybody that was there. Cool.
Yeah, I liked her too. I hadn't heard of her before that either. But I liked her. She's in Rome right now. She's doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, she's been involved in a lot through both with the company that she's working with and just with various connections she's made. I mean, definitely, if you haven't heard of Sarah Stock, either check out the interview I did with her, and also you guys should go check out her content. I mean, she's doing some cool stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a cool year. You think you're going to go this year?
It's going to depend on a few factors. One, we have a baby due at the end of April. So like,
oh, that's right.
It's going to be dicey. We'll see. And it's going to be hard for me to commit before the early bird's over. So that's also a factor. But I mean, it's not like it's the only factor, but that is going to be a factor too. I'm not going to be able to commit till closer to the conference, most likely.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it works out. Because that's cool. I was talking to someone today, and I was like, it's really cool having friends all over the country now, but it sucks that like the only time we ever really get to hang out is at these big conferences, and that gets really expensive and it gets really tiring.
Yes, it does. Yes, it. Hey, by the way, I'm working on a music video. You want to? I'm just kidding. I am actually working on a music video, but that's behind the scenes. Nobody needs to know about that.
Dude, that was the first music video I did. that weekend, that whole weekend, I shot a live music show and a music video. It was really cool.
Did I make it in any of the footage you have just kind of sitting around?
Yes, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I got you somewhere.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
just curious because the one I had to laugh because in your video with where Christian Wagner, you got him to say baptism saves. I'm literally 2 feet to the right of him in that
I
clip.
actually did not do that. That shot was not me.
Oh, wasn't? Who did
Um,
that one? Was that Chris Easley or was it somebody else?
no, it was most likely Javier when he had the camera.
Oh, yes, you're right. It was. You're right. But I'm literally right next to him in that clip.
Yeah,
And I because I remember him doing that and I was right there.
yeah. There's a few good shots that Javier got that because I was looking through footage and I'm like, I don't remember this. Um, I gave all the footage to Braden when he was making that editing the video, and at first I had just given him like the relevant stuff to the music video.
Mhm.
He's like, "Hey, I had a clip of Wagner saying baptism saves. Do you know what it is?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I don't remember that." So I just kind of gave him access to everything I had, and he found it. So apparently it was there. So I'm
That's
guessing
funny.
it had to be Javier. He's the only one that actually took the camera from me at any point.
Yeah, it was I think it had to have been Saturday night. Saturday night was the night when I hung out with Christian and he was in his suit and tie at Chesterton's. So
Yeah.
I think that was that night. It was early on, it was before him and I played billiards or pool, whatever you want to call the game, downstairs. That took us forever. And I was standing next to him, and all of a sudden, it must have been Javier walks up to him and says, "Hey, say baptism saves for the camera, and then blow smoke at us." And then he did.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad he got that. That's a good shot.
So, how many people actually knew that's what you guys were doing at the conference? That you were running around with the video camera, recording him just saying lines to a song.
So I was under the impression that pretty much everybody kind of knew what we were doing, but I guess not because Kyle and Drew did a live stream
Yeah.
recently where they were talking about how like they didn't know what the heck we were doing. I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, he was obviously like saying the same lines over and over. And I know
Yeah.
he told a few people that he was doing a music video, but there was so much going on, especially Drew and Kyle. I feel so bad for those guys. Um, they were really going on like fumes and the grace of God that weekend because they had so much going on.
I think I was
So I
the
don't blame
only
them.
person that got a picture of the two of them during the conference when they were sitting down. I was like,
Oh, really?
smile. That's
I
the
got
picture.
I got an interview with them. I
Oh,
pulled
did
them
you?
aside. Yeah, so I have an interview that's going to be in the documentary that I make for that conference, which I'm hoping to get out soon. I want to get it out before the next conference in May. So
Yeah, release it after the next conference. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, I can be notorious for that kind of stuff. So I don't want to do that.
Listen, you want to talk about notorious for being late to stuff? I still have on my computer ready to go 2 parody music videos of some songs I did between 2020 and 2023.
Nice.
Do you remember?
2023. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
So in 2020, I did a parody of a Bo Burnham song, and it was for my gaming channel. It was based on "Welcome to the Internet," which is
Okay.
so not relevant now at this point that I don't know if it's worth posting. And then both of the songs are about Fortnite, so like it's just all around not worth posting. But I might post them anyways. We'll see.
Fortnite's still kind of relevant, I guess.
Well, it is. It is. It absolutely is. And the song would still. I've what do you call that when you test it amongst potential viewers? I've sent it to some
Oh,
Gen Z kids, and they are like, "Yeah, you should still post it. It might not get very many views, but you should post it."
yeah. Especially if you're almost done with it, then you might as well.
Well, the songs are done. I actually recently even tweaked them just to make them slightly better. I just have to finish the touches on the videos, and then they would be ready to post. But I also just haven't been doing anything with my gaming podcast, anyways. So it's like
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How long ago did you do that?
I did a gaming podcast from either 2018 or 2019. 2019. It was April of 2019, all the way up until 2024, I want to say.
Nice.
And we had about 2,000 subscribers when we stopped really doing it.
I'm thinking about doing a side channel, a gaming channel, Lepanto Gaming. just for fun, just for like when you need to like get out of like, oh my gosh, I've been editing for 42 hours straight, I need to do something fun kind of thing, you know.
I also have one of those, and you'll never find it unless I tell you what it is. You'll never find it. But one of those video essay style channels.
Oh, nice. I love me
I
a
am one
good
of the
video essay.
omniscient voices for a video essay style channel.
Nice.
It's a fake
Yeah.
voice, so you'll never find it. It's a
Yeah.
long story too. It involves some really large channels that said they were going to promote it that never did. So,
Oh, it's a bummer. But yeah, I like video essays, man. I wouldn't mind doing one of those, but it seems like a lot of research.
oh no, the issue for me was not the research; it was the actual video editing itself. I hate editing videos.
Yeah. I've got a love hate with it. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's really tedious.
Well, I like the product. I like doing it. I like that kind of stuff. I just hate the process of actually, because like you get done and you hit save, and then the program crashes or who knows what, and then you got to start over and redo all your clips and snip them together. And man, so how much editing did you do for? Did you do any editing of Braden's video, or was it just the video itself that you did?
No, I mean, well, I sent him a cut, but it was mainly just to like I didn't have a whole lot of time to actually do the editing. And truth be told, Braden's a better editor than I am. Um, he does it professionally. So I just sent him like a version that I did. And I was like, you know what, he can use it for at least some sort of inspiration or whatever. And then I just sent him all the stuff. He did everything himself.
All right. Well, then what about what kind of stuff do you do for the other creators that you help out with?
Main Aside from Braden, it's mainly been Adrian at Sips of Sarah that I did. I was editing for him for a good, I want to say a few months maybe. Um, before he hit, gosh, I think before when he was like around 20K is when I was editing for him. Um, and I've done a lot of I do a lot of like vlogging kind of things for him whenever we get together. But most of that kind of stuff ends up on like his Patreon kind of thing because it's hard. His content is not that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
when you post that kind of stuff, it doesn't do well. Um,
Right.
so it ends up being more better served as like stuff for his members. But we've done
Bonus.
like
Yeah, that makes
we did
sense.
like a year ago. We did a pretty dope video about the live action young adult summit. That was a cool summit too. That's coming up again in a few months here in March. But
Oh, you
that
were there
was
too, weren't you?
that was where I met a lot of people for the first time. I think a lot of people met a lot of people for the first time there. It was kind of a weird thing because I don't think anybody really expected it to be like a gathering of Catholic creators there,
And then it
but
wound
there
up
was a
being
lot of
that pretty
people.
much.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. That was when I first met. I mean, I already met Adrian. We were there together. But I first met Desiree there from Uncatechized Catholic. That was funny. Because we had spoken beforehand and she knew I was going, but she didn't know what my face looked like because at the time I still had the whole mask thing going on. And her reaction was my favorite. Adrian and I were waiting to get coffee in the hotel lobby, and she comes up to me and she comes up to us to talk to us, and she already had met Adrian. She's talking to Adrian, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, hello, I'm Desiree." I'm like, "What? You don't recognize me without the mask, Desiree? I'm Mr. Lepanto." She's like, "Oh my gosh!" So
That's
um,
hilarious.
I met her there. I met Cameron Riker there for the first time. Got to meet Amber, religious hippie. That was the first time I met her. There's a lot of people. Franco, Iron Inquisitor was there. There was a few guys. Oh, Connor McLaughlin. That was the first time I met him. There was a few dudes there that I'd seen, but I didn't get to talk to them. There was just a lot going on. But there was a few like IG.
You weren't in the infamous selfie, right? You weren't in that, or were you?
Selfie gate. No, we were not. We showed up on our own, and we kind of just like slipped into the whole like creator area. Nobody cared. Um, and yeah, we kind of just did our own thing. I mean, I was just kind of there with Adrian. Nobody had heard about me, but a lot of people had heard about Adrian. There was a few people coming up to him and being like, "Hey, you use Sips with Sarah," and a lot of the other creators had already met with him too, or heard of him. So I was just doing my thing that I usually do, writing other people's coattails, mainly his. um, yeah, so we kind of did that as like a vlog kind of thing. It was sort of a weird video. It was like a little bit of a vlog, but also just like a recap of the video. But I think it came out pretty good. I think the people at Live Action even liked it. It was a cool video because I got a lot of cool shots of like Michael Knowles and Trent Horn and stuff, and Lila Rose came out. A lot of cool slow-mo stuff I did there. So that video came out pretty good. That one did okay. Unfortunately, it's talking about abortion, so those videos don't do
YouTube
very
probably
well.
kills it in the algorithm.
Oh yeah. Anything you do about that, unless I think unless your channel's like devoted to that and you're already big, like it kills it.
But then even
But
then,
a
it
lot of
would only serve it to the audience you already have.
yeah, but a lot of people got to see that video at least, and that was cool. A lot of people liked it. What else have we done together?
I just want to address
covered
this comment real quick. I think if the individuals in charge of Lila Rose's podcast just looked at my Twitter account, they probably would put me in the maybe later bin instead of the let's go do this interview. Just saying, guys. Okay, I've been a little critical of Lila over the years.
Yeah. That's one of the beautiful things about paying for your own ticket, right?
Fair enough. Oh, he has a typo. Did you see the typo? He wrote Christ could interview Lila. Yeah. I see that now. I didn't catch that the first time. That's even funnier.
I mean, in all fairness, it would be cool. Like, I mean, I don't see any reason why she wouldn't come on here. Like, it's a cool space. I don't know, but
like I'll say this. If I was going to interview her, which I'm not currently slated to do, I would want to hear her backstory where she worked with James O'Keefe, because that's a lot more interesting than what she's doing right now, to be honest.
Oh, huh. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
She went undercover to a bunch of Planned Parenthoods back when and exposed a ton of stuff.
I knew that she did that. I didn't know that she worked with James O'Keefe, though.
I don't know how closely they worked together, but they had a working relationship back when, where they would comment on each other's actual work they were doing. And I think she was also involved in, was it Acorn? That situation? You know what I'm talking about?
It rings a bell, but I don't really
exactly. I think that was what James O'Keefe almost went to jail over.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I remember all that.
Anyways, that's what I would want to hear about. I'd want to hear about the origin story more than anything else.
Yeah. That'd be cool. But yeah, other than that, we did the Men's Rosary March down here in Southern California. We've done, I got to go with Adrian when he went on to his Pints of the Aquinas episode. So we have a.
Oh, you were there for that? That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I got to go hang out.
Was that pre Daily Wire Studio or post Daily Wire Studio?
Yeah, it was pre. Okay. And did you see his episode today?
Is it out? It came out today?
Came out today, yeah.
Oh, the new one with Dr. Brant Petrie.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did not. I was gonna say I thought the Adrian one was like a couple months ago at this point.
No, his came out, yeah, and he did that at the studio in Florida.
Okay. No, I have not seen the video. I did see his. No, I take that back. I saw one of the videos he's done in his new studio, because he did the sit down with Scott Hahn. I think was a Daily Wire produced one.
Yeah, that was not his regular studio. That must have been some sort of interim thing that they did, because now his studio, it looks very similar, to be honest, the new one.
What would have to? The aesthetics would be off if it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the same blue walls, all of his cool knickknacks and stuff. The only thing that sucks is that it is smaller now. Matt Fred's Florida studio, in my opinion, was like the pinnacle of studios. It was just the perfect size. The way he had it too, it was shot into a corner, which added a lot of depth, because the room itself wasn't huge. It wasn't small, but it wasn't like massive. Like he said many times on the show, I think famously Dr. Jordan Peterson wanted to like stay in the room with his wife when it was her episode or whatever, and like there's nowhere to stand. Like the cameras cover the entire room. There's only one tiny spot where you can stand. You don't want to be there the whole time. So it's not a massive room, but the way it's laid out, the size was the room that was available was very efficient, and since it was shot into a corner, it was just perfect. Like it gave you this sense of like massive space, which is, in my opinion, the one thing that most people can't get on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
These days, everybody has a good mic. Everybody's got a ring light or something for good lighting. Cameras are, I mean, like even this, like I've got a webcam on my computer, which are notoriously horrible. If I got this light closer to me, it would look pretty freaking good, and like all the grain would go down and everything. So all this is super accessible these days. But what you can't get, what most people don't have on YouTube, is space. That is at a premium. If you see a creator that's shooting in like a warehouse or something with a lot of space, that's like top tier right there, right? And Matt Fradd's studio had that. It was like the best. The new studio at Daily Wire, as far as Daily Wire Studios goes, and I'm not a fan of Daily Wire Studios. I'm talking about like the actual sets and stuff.
Right. I know what you mean.
Whoever designs their sets, I'm not a fan of it. They did
the only sets I've liked that I've seen coming out of Daily Wire are like Michael Knowles' interviews. I like those.
Yeah, those are okay. Those are all right. There's just something that feels weird about them. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like inauthentic, but like authentic. It's like a weird inauthenticity.
The actual discussion that Michael Knowles has comes across very authentic. It's the studio itself looks, but you know why? It's because the reason they can have such cool studios for Michael Knowles' interviews is they're almost all green screened.
Yeah,
like the floor, the ceiling, and then they place some props to kind of
the props. They have some good props though for those interviews that Knowles does. And overall, I think they did an okay job with Fradd's new studio. It's just more cramped than it used to be, man. It's just more cramped. It lost that little bit of character. I know now they have like the tables like closer, so now you're not really yelling across that big old table they used to have. But for me, that little bit of magic is gone. But it's all good.
Have you ever watched any of Sam Hyde's interviews that he's done?
I don't know. I don't even know who that is.
He's a comedian, like early YouTube days comedian, but he's kind of mainstream now. Actually, his picture, this is something silly and kind of a diatribe, but when anything happens that's bad, people have photoshopped his face onto just like random things. Like if there's ever like a shooting, they'll be like, "This is the killer," and it's Sam Hyde. I was like, no, it's not. It's that's a comedian.
Oh,
like it's become a meme.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm looking at his space now. Yeah, that's pretty big. And that's great. That is what I'm talking about. Like you can't get that, man. Especially out here in like California or one of these really expensive states. No. Right now I'm in my bedroom. Like my desk, I turned it around so I can have just a blank wall. I have no space. So the more space you have, I think that's the best thing that you could do.
I have the illusion of space.
Yeah. You've got a great studio there in the library with those windows.
Good lighting, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I should set up some lights to make it look like there's lights coming through. I had it at one point. I set a lamp up to see if it would look like light was shining through a window if I put it at a specific point in my background. And it kind of did actually look like there was light coming in through the window. It's kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So next question for you. How has faith actually kind of influenced your media production? I know you already talked about the Discord server and how it kind of led to you actually putting together your documentary about the statue of Sarah. But what else has it really done for you as far as your creative side, your production side, etc.?
Everything has mainly been centered by it, right? And I don't mean that I'm like some holy guy or anything like that, but I'll put it this way. A lot of the guys I follow on YouTube, they do incredible stuff, right? And it's a lot of like travel vloggers or like photography guys that do a lot of vlogs, and their stuff looks incredible, and they get to go shoot for Red Bull and get like these amazing shots with the two planes, and the eclipse, and the wings of the plane are completing the eclipse. It's just freaking awesome, right? Like
That
all
is
kinds of
cool.
a lot of cool shots of like Iceland and stuff, right? For me, all of that stuff seemed like empty. It's like what's the point? It's like, okay, you've got a nice picture of a sunset over here, or some beautiful town in Italy, and that has its own merits. It's fine, but for me, I've always felt weird. Like if I'm not making art that is praising God, it just feels just like, what's the point? And I don't, not in everything, right? Like if I go on vacation, I'm gonna go wake up early and go take pictures of the sunset or whatever we're gonna do. But
Right.
when it comes to this kind of stuff, like the faith is the whole point for me. Like it's part of the reason why I've never done anything up to this point. Um, and so it really is sort of at the center of all of it. I try to like make sure that um Christ comes first and all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Um, the one video that I have out, I mean, the whole thing was about a saint. So, um, I think at this point, since I haven't really done a whole lot myself, it's going to be more of a journey to sort of keep that at the forefront, right?
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see. That's my goal. My goal has always been to sort of praise God with the work I'm doing, and to do stuff that I'm proud of. That's in a nutshell. That's basically all I want to do.
Yeah, there was an interesting discussion. I don't know if you ever heard of the channel Modern Papist. The channel
I
you've
think
heard
so.
of? Yeah.
I've heard of it.
He said something one time, because I've had a few discussions with him behind the scenes, and I was just like, we should do a podcast on this subject, or this, and he came back with it. Well, I got to think about that, because basically I'm more concerned about what my kids will see in this content when I'm older than what I'm doing right now and how popular it is. And I was like, wow, that's a very different way to think about producing content. Is like, at some point your kids will be old enough where, whether you want them to or not, they will see the content you've been producing.
That's a very mature way to do this, especially in this space. I don't think a lot of people really have that mindset, but it definitely is. That's a good way to look at it.
And he's like, I don't want to ever have something out there that's either an error, something that I wouldn't want my kids to think or know. Oh my kids, you see the comment? They just can't. Nobody can leave me alone on this stuff. They're like, Chris's children are going to see him are going to watch him interview women. Lovely, good stuff. Anyway, long story short, though, like that whole thought process, it's like it's such a different way of approaching content, and it is very similar to like the idea that, okay, God's always watching you anyway, so like you should already kind of be doing your best to promote, like, do what God wants you to do. And if you do that, then it should be appropriate for your kids anyways.
Yeah, honestly, that mindset is very antithetical to the algorithm sometimes,
It is, yeah.
The algorithm really wants the eyeballs to be stuck on the screen. So sometimes you get caught up in like, okay, what's going to hit? Let's think of ideas that's going to get me views or get me more subs and stuff. 'Cause I certainly have been stuck in between that. Like there have been times where I'm like, I'm not going to bow to the algorithm. I want to do whatever I want to do, and if nobody ever watches it, well, at least God watched it, right? And stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not completely stupid, but at the same time, if you want to actually do something, if you want your content to be seen by people, and it's not just you uploading it to your personal channel and you get 5 people to see it, you have to play the game to a certain degree, right? So you're walking on a knife's edge to try to stay faithful to that kind of mindset, but also try to grow your channel, and you got to kind of find a good midpoint there.
Absolutely.
It'll be hard.
And at the same time, it's just it is good to know that whatever you do, whatever, like it's on there for all time. So let's say I give good advice that my kids could follow. That advice will be there whether I'm here or not.
Yeah. That's also one of the reasons why I've never really been attracted to doing like apologetics or anything like that. I'm too terrified that I would say something heretical or something like that, and that's not my thing. That's not my thing. I
Yeah,
prefer to
I mean
let the
that's
camera
I'm a
just
dad
show.
with a podcast. I'm not an apologetics or a. I've got some niche things that I know some things about, but other than that, I would not claim to be an expert at apologetics in any way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, no, but man, you don't even have to be claiming that. I was oh, gosh, what is her name? Mary something. She's she's a big like on IG and stuff. Mary, she's a blonde girl, wears black all the
Oh,
time.
Mary Morgan.
Morgan, yeah, Mary Morgan. I commented on one of her videos that she's talking about. It's actually one of the rare cases where she posts something I disagreed with her. She's talking about like wearing like pajamas and stuff at the airport and going on airplanes and stuff. And I posted on there. I was like, nah, I don't. That's not the move, man. I think people need to hold themselves to a higher standard. I've been torn apart for posting that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. This is one of the posts where I just got ripped to shreds. I mean, I'm left and right. And
I
I'm just
don't
like,
think
dang,
I've
man.
ever worn less than jeans in a public space where people would see me.
I see it all the time. I don't know if this is just a California thing, but like all the public schools, kids are just going to, especially when it gets
I'm talking
colder.
about since I've been an adult. I'm not talking about high school.
Well, I didn't experience this in high school either. I had uniforms at all the schools that I went to, but
Did
like,
you go to
all
Catholic
the,
school growing up?
yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to public school. Very different experience.
These days, man, I see kids walking to school in like slippers and pajamas and like with their blankets, and I'm not exaggerating. So it's like
I, there was one
all I said
time.
was,
There was
yeah, all
one
I said was
time.
like maybe we just don't look like we rolled out of bed. Like I'm not saying we need to like dress up like we're going to church or anything, but like maybe not pajamas. And I was just ripped apart for that.
We
So I can
we went.
imagine if I like came up here and tried to like say something about like the faith and I got it wrong or whatever. And oh no,
Yeah.
this the council of this and that said this and that. Oh,
No, you should
sorry.
expect that. You say anything like that, you're gonna get Vatican Catholic on your back.
Oh yeah,
The Diamond Bros coming after you.
yeah.
Seth's favorite guys. Anyway,
So,
I love his. I probably shouldn't say which account is his on X. Some people know. I don't know how many people do, but he's got one of my favorite Twitter usernames of all time. It's great. But anyways, long story short, um, in this space, if you say something that's even remotely incorrect, people are gonna take that little tiny hole and chisel it into a giant canyon.
oh yeah,
They'll turn it
oh
into
yeah,
whatever they want it to be.
yeah. You really do have to have thick skin to be in this space, man.
Do you know how many times
I'm telling you.
I've been torn to shreds in comment sections over the years for even just something silly about a video game that I got wrong?
Yeah. Nah, man, they were coming after me like for my looks and stuff. They're telling me like that because I'm wearing like a cowboy hat. I'm wearing this one right here in my profile picture right now.
Yeah.
And people are calling me Brokeback Mountain, all kinds of
Oh,
stuff. I'm like, dang,
that's
chill. So,
you
yeah,
know
you
you
gotta
know
have
who
some thick skin.
you know who I would love to hear you have a conversation with is and obviously you don't have to take my recommendation, but I think it would be interesting to see what you and Caleb from A New Crusade would have to talk about. I don't think you guys live that far apart, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, California is huge. It's possible you could be you could be a ways away, but I think
Oh,
you guys are
we could be 8 hours apart from each other and still be in
right,
California.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But I don't think
yeah.
you're that far apart. I'd be curious how close, because he's really into like how people dress. Like that's a big part of his thing. And if you were to combine the video production that you do with the type of content he's producing, that could be a really interesting combo.
Yeah, I saw his post today. Something about was it like ox ivy style, right? It was like an ivy
Yeah.
style post. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yes,
He would
sir.
probably agree with you about the airports. I think he even posted something about how people used to dress well in airports and now nobody can be bothered to put clothes on.
Well, I think Mary's point was
The
sort of that
airport's
like,
not comfortable, so why should you make yourself less comfortable?
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like that, and I understand that. Like I used to fly a lot when I was little, and I loved it. Um, these days, flying is so miserable. Like I hate it. Like I'm right there. If you're gonna when you want to talk about how horrible the airlines are, I hate it, man. I think about losing weight just so I can get more space in the freaking seat.
The last time I
'Cause I
flew
get
was when my wife and I went to Jamaica. So
yeah, I've been on a plane more recently now than I have in a while because I had to fly out to Ohio for the Creator Conference. Had to fly um, to Florida. We went to go with Adrian to the Matt Fradd interview. And I mean, it's been all right. I made it through it, but it is a pretty miserable experience. So I get it, but like at the same time, it's like you don't have to go that far. You don't have to be wearing your freaking like pajama pants and stuff. But we'll see. You
so
know,
how much of a film student are you? Have you spent a lot of time studying film?
no, I had a little bit of I did a little bit of schooling for photography, but film has all just been self taught.
Because what I find
Self-taught, and
most
then I
go ahead.
watch a lot of movies too, like a lot of classic films and stuff, indie films. I've watched a few. I'm not like the most like crazy guy when it comes to like art films and stuff, but I've seen a few art films in my day, Jean-Luc Godard, that kind of stuff.
I think the most interesting part of film to me is that it's not something I realized growing up. It's something I've kind of figured out as I've gotten older. Is that colors on screen mean things? Like whether
Oh yeah.
you add like an effect to the lens or whatever. Um, it just all the artistry of the actual video production has some meaning to it, and that's why they film it that way. Like close-up
Oh yeah.
shots are done a certain way to express something. Um, yeah. Anyways, like as far as being able to produce something high quality, it seems like over the years, a lot of who's had the money to produce it has been mainly anti-Christian. I mean, some of the biggest pop stars of all time, like Madonna, films burning crosses and heretical Jesuses in music videos, and it's like we really, as Catholics, need to reclaim the art form, like that war on beauty situation. That like what she's talking about is like reclaiming what was ours. Like
Yeah.
that's the Christian art.
The Yeah, as far as the film industry is just kind of like that. Like
Yeah,
it's just so ingrained. But there definitely has been a lot of good, Catholic or Christian films coming out, you know, and not the like God's Not Dead kind of films, right? Like
right.
those are their own kind of monsters. But like, there's been some really good films out. I just took the kids to go see David the other day. That was a great movie.
Is that actually
Uh,
made by Catholics or is it just Angel Studios?
that's just Angel Studios, but they did
Okay,
a good job.
that's
They
what I
did a good
heard.
job.
'Cause, I mean, really, how can you go wrong with the Old Testament? Most everybody agrees on the Old Testament stuff.
I'm probably gonna do a review on it soon. But I remember when they first had the Kickstarter for that movie, they were really selling it like, "Hey, you remember Prince of Egypt? It was so great, right? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna invest with us, and we're gonna make it look amazing, and it's gonna have the good story and the music and all that stuff." And I was like, "That's a tall order, man. Like that's like you're comparing. Like, that's like me trying to be like, hey, I'm gonna make a movie like The Godfather." But they they did a good job as far as like trying to meet that standard of Prince of Egypt. I would say they probably did like a 4 out of 5. The animation's amazing. It's probably as good, if not better, than anything coming out of Disney right now. The story's good. Like my kids loved it. My kids are 7 and 4, and they both loved it. I mean, they had a little bit of a hard time like
Did they
sitting in
produce
the
King of
theater.
Kings as well, or is that a different group that did
They
that
also
one?
did King of Kings. Yeah, that one's pretty
Okay.
good too. That one's good, but it's I wouldn't say it's up to like the it's not as memorable as like David or Prince
Yeah.
of Egypt. Like David, I would say it's in the like the league of Prince of Egypt. I think the music is not as memorable as the songs
Well, I mean, didn't
from
they have
Prince of
like
Egypt.
Hans? Didn't they have not Hans? Oh yeah, Hans Zimmerman. Didn't he do the music for the Prince of Egypt?
I don't remember exactly, but they did have somebody who was a
Somebody
pretty heavy
massive.
hitter. Yeah.
Actually, from what I understand, the reason why the Prince of Egypt worked was because people were actually protesting Disney and their contracts at the time. So like DreamWorks pretty much could pick any actor or actress they wanted, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Sure, I'll do it to screw Disney." Essentially, that's why the
Yeah.
cast of characters' voices for that movie is insane.
It is loaded. It is star-studded. It's such a good. Everything about that film is great. I mean, I know it's not 100% on theology, but
It's pretty
you can,
close.
yeah, you can give it a pass.
It's pretty close.
The animation in that movie is still pretty insane. Like the scene where he splits the sea is so incredible.
It is.
Um, but yeah, they went all out with that film when they first made it. They were like, we're gonna just go full throttle with this thing. Unfortunately, it did not do well in the theaters, but now it's kind of become a
It
a
did
classic.
well enough that they were able to convince the studios to do Joseph King of Dreams.
Yeah, but did that go to the theaters? I thought that was like a direct to
That one
DVD thing.
may or may not have gone to theaters. I don't recall. And they did one more movie in that same style of art. It was Road to El Dorado
Oh
and
yeah,
Sinbad. And Sinbad
yeah,
was the one that actually tanked whatever company DreamWorks was working with to make those.
that's a shame. I recently rewatched the Joseph one from because I'm
It's
putting kid
good.
a lot of movies on for the kids during Christmas season and stuff. Um,
I like that
and
one a
it's
lot.
not better than the first time I watched it, I was like, ah, this is no Prince of Egypt. This sucks. But it's not bad actually. Upon the second watching, it's pretty good.
I love the
Um,
music they did when he's sitting in the prison cell underground.
yeah,
It's really well done.
yeah, it's pretty good. Um, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the other one, and I haven't seen it yet, but I want to go see the Triumph of the Heart. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
yep. That's the one with the priest that convinces the former Nazi to become Christian, right?
Yeah, it's about Maximilian Kolbe.
Right. Him
Um,
and wasn't there another priest that did the final touches to convert the guy over
I
after
don't know.
Colby is martyred?
That I don't know. I haven't really looked. I know the very surface level stuff about Colby's story, but the film itself looks very well done.
Yeah.
Um, I followed like the whole journey of them making it, um, and they were very passionate about it. They put their hearts and souls into this thing, and that's kind of what you want for a project like that. So I'm excited to see it. They have I think the DVD's out, but I'm like, I don't want to buy a DVD. I want a Blu-ray. So I don't know. I'm hoping they come out with a Blu-ray. If not, I'll just get the DVD. But that looks good. I'm trying to think of movies that are not explicitly Christian, but are like very highly influenced by Christian or Catholic theology. But I'm kind of blanking
Wing
at the
Feather
moment.
Saga. Have you watched that one?
No, I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it myself.
Um, I'm really not excited to see what's going to happen with this new Chronicles of Narnia situation with Netflix.
I'm not either, man. Greta Gerwig. Oh my gosh, I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, how are you gonna? It's like, so my friend and I, we just went and saw Avatar 3 Fire and Ash or whatever it's called, and
Hmm.
that is a pretty movie. Like James Cameron nails it out of the park with his visual effects. Like hands down, probably the best visual effects like director, producer, whatever you want to call him in the business. Like just flat out, I think he probably is. Because you really lose yourself in Pandora. Like when you watch it visually, it's just beautiful. On the other hand, he's got all this like nutty, um, almost like reverse Christian ideas going on in the movie. Like they've got an almost rosary thing that they pray to the blue people, whatever you want to call them, the Navi.
Oh, really? Of
Um, their god is a goddess. Um,
course,
they've got an almost Jesus figure who's a woman born of a woman with no father. So there's that.
of course.
Um, but the
I've only seen the
Christian,
first one.
to be fair though, the Christian themes are buried in lots of movies. Like for example, even Star Wars, you got Anakin who has no father, and he's essentially like the anti chosen one, and then becomes the actually kills the emperor at some point. Like you've got all this very strange pseudo Christian themes in most movies.
Yeah. My brain's stuck on Narnia still.
I'm not. I mean, after I heard all the stuff she wants to do in Narnia, like for example, she wants Aslan to be a woman.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's just
mm-mm,
like why? What's the point
no,
of this? We've already
no.
got what's his face, Liam Neeson. Just hire him to be Aslan. What are you trying to do here?
He did the voice for the movies, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Actually, though, BBC did a mini series of the Chronicles of Narnia back in the 80s. and it's actually
I
not
haven't
bad.
seen that. I
Well,
haven't
let me
seen
let
it.
me rephrase that. you you have to give them a few caveats to say it's decent. Some of the stuff they did in that miniseries is like, maybe we shouldn't use CGI for this.
Oh man, yeah. Like the Rock and the Scorpion King bad.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
they're the only, so far at least, the only depiction of the silver chair on film was done by BBC back then. And
Well,
if you give them the couple caveats I'm talking about, it's actually pretty well done.
hopefully, and let's keep our, let's hope that this is actually a good series because it looks like they're actually going to hit all the books, right? Because they're starting post, or sorry, the pre-production, all the behind the scenes stuff is showing that they're filming The Magician's Nephew. So that that's pretty cool.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that on film because up until now, what did they do? It was just The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Caspian, and I think they
Voyage of the Dawn
finished with
Treader.
Dawn Treader. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite book, by the way. But I've never
Actually,
got
I'm pretty partial to Horse and His Boy after rereading that one
that's my
twice.
second favorite. Yeah, I love that one too.
That one's pretty excellent, but I think my favorite's The Silver Chair.
Really?
Yeah, I love the Puddle Glum narrative. He's such an interesting character.
Okay,
I
since you're a fellow Narnia fan, you got to go check that. I don't know what kind of music you like, but check her out. There's this girl named Sarah Sparks, and
Sarah
she has an
Sparks. Okay.
album called Into the Lantern Waste, and
Okay.
I think it's so good that it for me it has become a part of like the whole thing. When I read the Chronicles of Narnia, I gotta listen to that album because it's so good. She
That's cool.
she turned the whole series into songs. Like it's just so awesome. Um, so like most of the books have at least one or two songs to them, and she's just a really good lyricist and stuff. So I highly recommend that album.
I'll check it out.
Um, yeah,
If you're
I
such
just
a C.S. Lewis fan, though, have you read the Space Trilogy yet?
I've read I've read the first one. I haven't read Paralandra or That Hideous Strength yet.
So you've read the
They're
worst
on.
of the three. That's what.
Yeah. I thought it was okay though. Here's why I read it because my early on, my as far as I can remember, like when I first started getting back into my faith, it was Dr. Peter Kraft who
Okay.
really like was the guy that I was watching, right? And so he's got a lot of talks on a lot of C.S. Lewis books, Lord of the Rings, I think even Star Wars. But
Yeah.
so what I do now is I'll read a book and listen to his talk, right?
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it was based off of his interpretation of the angels in the Space Trilogy that really intrigued me because he's like according to him that was the best portrayal of angels and I tend to agree with him. I mean he's one of my heroes, so yeah, I gotta agree with him, right? But they're so cool because they're not. I mean, we all know what angels are usually depicted as, right? It's like it's usually like a Roman soldier guy or some dude dressed in a robe but with wings and stuff. But in the Space Trilogy, they're almost portrayed as just like light, right?
Yeah. Basically.
Like almost like you can't even like really see them. It's almost like a thing where you have to look at them from the side of your vision, kind of thing. And that just is really intriguing to me, and I think it's probably more accurate. Not to say that it's 100% accurate because they're angels, but like it's really cool to think of that. And ever since then I've seen a few paintings sort of depicting that kind of style. Like I'm working on a project right now with the rosary, and so I'm getting sort of like inspiration from paintings and stuff of the Annunciation. And one of my favorites sort of depicts Gabriel in that way, where he's just kind of light. He doesn't have a human figure. He's just like a big sort of thing of light. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll get to the other two, but
You
that's one
definitely,
of
at the very least, I would listen to the audiobooks if you don't have the time to read. The Paralandra
that's what I always do.
is one of my absolute favorite books. It's my favorite C.S. Lewis book by far.
I heard that Hideous Strength is kind of weird. It kind of falls off a little bit. Is that true?
That Hideous Strength, no. That one, it's longer, Paralandra has a weird ending. It's like C.S. Lewis kind of describing his own thought process on what heaven would look like. It's kind of strange. But the hideous strength does not fall off, and it's actually probably the most complete C.S. Lewis book, if you wanted to call a C.S. Lewis book complete, because it's actually like a fully contained story in one book that doesn't require multiple other books to understand what's going on.
So is that your favorite? That's your favorite Lewis book?
Paralandra is, yes, even though it's not arguably the best book of the three is That Hideous Strength. But Paralandra, I just the whole concept of it, I just find so intriguing and well written that I personally would pick that one, even though I know that Hideous Strength is kind of better.
Oh, okay, cool.
Does that make sense? Am I kind of
No. I get that. Yeah, I get that. There's sometimes things speak to us in a way that even though you know that something is better in some other way, like it's just I don't know. I can't explain it either. I'm not always the best in articulating stuff.
Well,
but I get
Paralandra is basically a retelling of the Genesis story, where from the viewpoint of the main character, you are talking Eve out of taking the serpent's ploy to eat the apple.
Okay. I don't remember, to be honest, what exactly happens. And
Out of the Silent Planet just sets up Dr. Ransom. That's all it does. Dr. Ransom is set up. Some of the other characters are set up. It introduces you to the idea of the beings, like the Eldials, whatever.
Races, yeah, that's pretty cool. My favorite Lewis book has to be Till We Have Faces.
I have that one. I just read that last year.
I love that book.
It's a great book. Yeah,
it's so good. I love it so much that I actually have a project coming up. No, that's not true. I'm not gonna. This will be a big project. I want to do an actual like movie, like a film. So that's like a, pipeline or a pipe dream kind of project. But I want to do something similar, where he takes, like an old myth or something and retells it in more of a modern thing. I really want to do that. I love that sort of storytelling. But yeah, it's a great book. Lewis is just great in general.
He really is, honestly.
I'm a big fan of the allegory. I know some people hate it, but I like the allegory of the Narnia series. I think it's great.
Well, stop me if you've heard this before. But Dr. Ransom in the Space Trilogy is C.S. Lewis's depiction of Tolkien.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I've never heard that before. And I can't say for sure because it's been a while since I read into the
well, he's a philologist. That's literally Tolkien.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Expert on language. That's Tolkien.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you know who Tolkien wrote intentionally or unintentionally and did Lord of the Rings as C.S. Lewis?
What was that?
Do you know who is a representation of C.S. Lewis in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Treebeard.
I have no idea. I'd have to say maybe like C.S. Lewis.
Oh, you must not have heard what I said. I just said the answer. You must not have heard it.
No, I didn't hear.
Treebeard.
Really? Treebeard?
Treebeard is supposed to be C.S. Lewis.
That's funny.
Because he's such a reluctant convert to the faith. And then when he does convert, he refuses to go the full tilt Catholic. He decides to be a Protestant sect. So
that's funny.
He's stubborn. He's fighting the good fight because he's fighting for Christianity. But he refuses to go to the gates of Mordor and fight with everybody else.
That's hilarious. I've never heard that before.
The more I think about it, the more accurate it seems.
I always ponder about that, man. It's like, why you were so close, man. Could have hopped on over. But
if any Protestant is saved, I would put C.S. Lewis probably in a category that's likely he was probably saved.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever heard of the author that inspired both Tolkien and C.S. Lewis?
No.
It was George MacDonald.
I've never read anything about or from him, but I've heard of him.
He wrote a book called Lilith, another book called Phantastes, and that's actually a really good book. I read that one, and a bunch of other very good, basically Christian versions of folk tales.
Oh, okay.
And he did a really good job with it. like Lilith, the whole process of writing Lilith, the book that was his most famous by far, is that he took a character that's irredeemable and threw her into a place where Christ might be able to redeem her, to try to decide if Lilith was always condemned. It's kind of an interesting thought process.
Is it the Lilith, the whole like Adam's first wife kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yep.
Or
Yep. That's the one.
Interesting. What's that story? That sounds really interesting. It's called Lilith?
It's called Lilith. I think Lilith, a love story. I could be wrong about that. I've seen the book online. I thought about picking it up. The only one of his books that I read is Fantastes. And the reason that one's so interesting is Tolkien himself, at various points in his life, said that he got inspiration for the trees from George MacDonald's book because he had talking trees in his book.
Oh, nice.
And
That's cool.
C.S. Lewis always points to George MacDonald in all of the interviews where they ask him, what's your inspiration? So when you combine that George MacDonald is where Tolkien got the idea, and C.S. Lewis's love for George MacDonald and all of his writing and claiming that he was the inspiration for him, Treebeard being C.S. Lewis makes a lot of sense.
That's so crazy when you think of guys like that, because those guys are like the ultimate, you know.
Right.
You think of Chesterton and Lewis and Tolkien. And then you hear stuff about like the guys that they looked up to the way we look up to them, and it's like, dang, how great was that guy? That guy must have been insane.
George MacDonald has a very, very just different style of writing. It's not something that because like the 1800s produced very different writing than what the 1900s produced. And so like looking back at those writings, it almost feels like archaic English to a degree, or like more prose, or like more poetic, because that's just how people talked.
Yeah.
Like I recently watched one of the Jane Austen movies, Northanger Abbey. And I don't know if you've ever read Jane Austen. I've only watched the film. My wife read all the Jane Austen books.
No, I've never read anything Jane Austen.
But apparently,
actually,
go ahead.
Did she do Pride and Prejudice?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I've read that one.
I actually quite liked of the things that I've watched with my wife. That was one of the ones I liked quite a bit, was Pride and Prejudice. Not the 2005, the BBC miniseries from like the late 90s. But anyways, so Northanger Abbey is like a satirical writing on like teens in the 1800s and they're what we'll call smut writings.
Okay.
It's like literally these like young women fantasizing about these just horrible smut of the 1800s, but it's nothing compared to what they're reading today.
Yeah.
Have you seen that artwork where it's got like the Minotaur on it, and it's like, what are women reading?
Yeah, I think Trent Horn's video that dropped today was talking exactly about that.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was perfect timing because I literally just watched Northanger Abbey last night with my wife, and it was interesting because she references actual real books that were written at the time she wrote that book. And so like all the books that you think are like just too silly or too ridiculous, no, those were real books. Women were reading them and they were going nuts over them.
It's funny how we're all the same over the years.
It's just we've gotten less filtered.
Oh yeah.
People are unwilling to filter anything. It's like the whole conversation around freedom of speech is like, on the one hand, if we limit speech, then somebody might come along and limit Christianity in our country, right? But on the other hand, if we don't limit speech, you end up with horrors beyond your wildest imagination making their way to the internet.
Yeah. I don't really know what to do about that.
Well, you need a temporal and a spiritual authority.
Yeah.
That's what Christendom always had. You had the king, who is the temporal, and you had the spiritual, which was the pope or the bishop or whoever the local ordinary was. And so you had both. We're lacking the spiritual authority, at least officially.
Yeah. It's hard. It kind of reminds me about the whole, pajama airplane thing too. It's like just nobody really wants to be held to a standard at all anymore. So that kind of makes it hard.
I mean, some kids show up in sweatpants to church, and I'm like, what are you doing? Unless you're like 4 and under, like then okay, fine, you have a pass. You can't control what you're wearing at 4 and under. That's up to your parents. But if you're like a 16-year-old kid, what are you doing wearing sweatpants to church? I don't understand.
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm from California, so I see worse stuff than that all the time at church, unfortunately. I just the thing that really gets to me is when people wear like sports attire to mass. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Like, I would feel weird showing up with like a Lakers jersey to mass or something. But it happens all the time over here. It just kind of is what it is in the area.
Are
Ironically,
you
though, the area
anywhere near? Are you anywhere near the LA Dodgers stadium?
no, I'm about maybe an hour away from that. I don't live anywhere near LA,
I
thank
was
God.
just curious if you were anywhere near when that Rosary March was going on that got Bishop Strickland in trouble.
That did that have anything to do with those
The
sisters of
Blades of Perpetual
perpetual?
Indulgence or whatever.
Yeah, is that what happened?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
I
a
didn't.
rant.
I had to work that day. I wanted to go to that, but it's just hard. Um, but yeah, I don't live that close to LA. Used to be a Dodgers fan until that happened. I haven't been a Dodgers fan since. So, but the area that I actually live in is it's kind of funny because it's California, but it's actually really I have a lot of options. Like there's a TLM 10 minutes away from me. Um, there's a Byzantine parish 10 minutes away from me. I've got the mission. The mission is pretty good. It's not TLM, but it's pretty reverent Novus Ordo. Um, there's several parishes around here that are fairly reverent. I mean, I've got Thomas Aquinas College up the road, so in a way, this town feels a little bit like Steubenville.
Okay.
Um, the college is a little different though than Franciscan, so it's a little bit of a different sort of vibe. But all the kids, like a lot of the kids from that college, end up just living here, right there in Santa Paula. Um, so Santa Paula is like the Steubenville to Franciscan, right?
Yeah.
So Steubenville's a Franciscan. Um,
Do you have a liturgical preference?
I prefer to do a like really reverent Novus Ordo. I've been to a few Latin masses, and they're beautiful, right? But I haven't really gotten to go to a high mass yet, which kind of sucks. I really want to go to one of those. Every time I've been to a TLM, it's a low mass,
Mhm.
and I like them. I've been to the Byzantine liturgy. I like it. I'm hoping to go to a Chaldean liturgy soon, and I love them all. They're all beautiful. But for me, I grew up in the Latin rite, and that's just always going to be home for me, you know. So I would rather just go find a parish that is a little bit more reverent than not. Even though you're supposed to go to whatever closest parish is to
Yeah.
you, which is actually what I do because I live walking distance to the parish I go to, even though they're a little more liberal than I would like. Could be worse for California,
Right.
but they're still close. I can't justify going anywhere else, so that's where I go. But if I had a choice, I like a really reverent, just Novus Ordo is my favorite. The Byzantine liturgy I went to was super cool. Um, the way they received the Eucharist was different.
Is it intinction?
What was that?
Was it intinction?
Yeah, right. They like
They
it's not
dip the
leavened.
host in the wine, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Intinction.
it's
Yeah.
not leavened, and they dip it. Yeah,
So,
it was an
no, the
interesting.
one. So I've seen it. I've seen it leavened, unleavened. Wait, yeah, unleavened and intinction before though, which is even weirder. Where they're taking like the thin
Oh,
Eucharist,
really?
and they dip it in the wine.
I
Um,
feel like that might be a little bit better. I just it's a big chunk of bread,
right.
and so it soaks up a lot of the wine. So you have it's just it's just an interesting. It's not bad. I would love to go back to another Byzantine thing, but it for me it doesn't feel like home. We have a lot of people here who really love the Byzantine rite, and
Yeah.
for a while, like everybody was kind of going through this whole thing of like the Novus Ordo is not reverent enough, so everyone's kind of jumping ship, right? A few years ago. So the Byzantine liturgy is kind of where a lot of people ended up. And the one here that's close to me, the one over in Santa Paula, is more of like a little outpost parish to the one in, I guess the main one is in Los Angeles or something or whatever. I don't know. Um, but a lot of the people from like Thomas Aquinas College that have graduated and are still living in the area, they go to that um, just because of the reverence, you know.
Yeah.
So
I've heard what's funny is if you go to a Byzantine Catholic parish, you'll see mostly people of Mexican heritage there,
Yeah.
which is funny because like Mexicans would be absolutely Latin Rite heritage. they
Oh
would
yeah.
not be Byzantine in any way, shape, or form, but that's where a lot of them end up for whatever reason.
The one that I actually haven't been to the one here near me. The one I went to was with actually went with Adrian to a Byzantine parish in Anaheim, California,
Okay.
and that was a bit of a bigger parish, I guess. And it's interesting because I've heard that a lot of the Byzantine, I could be wrong, but a lot of the Byzantine places don't even have like pews or anything to sit in. This parish did. It seemed like a normal parish, but with the gold dome in the middle and all the icons and the very like Eastern art style.
Yeah.
Uh, but as far as the people that were there, it was a lot of young people, a lot of young families. It was kind of nice, but it wasn't the demographic I was expecting.
Yeah. And you know what? What's interesting to me is everybody rags on the Novus Ordo, and I'm not saying the Novus Ordo is better than any other liturgy. They all have the Eucharist, they all have the sacrifice of the Mass. As long as it's not a priest doing straight up sacrilege, you have
Yeah.
the sacrifice in the Mass, you have the Eucharist, you have communion, you have your sacraments available. But the bigger issue is the men at the church. If the dads aren't going to the church, the statistics show that the kids won't either.
Yeah.
I think it's that
No,
simple.
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, like I went through my whole phase too of like really wanting to be way more trad. So I went through all that, but at this point in my life, I don't really. It's not something I want to put a lot of my brain power into. Um, I also was just like angry all the time with that kind of stuff. Like it was just, I feel like I was just judging, and I'm speaking just for myself. I was just judging left and right. Um, and because like I used to even play drums at my local parish for like the worship mass, the youth mass. I don't do that anymore, and I still don't do that because I don't believe the music is fitting for the liturgy. Um, but I went from that to like really, really like I wanted to be TLM only kind of guy. And
I was headed down that
I
route for a little while.
yeah, I ended up I just didn't like the way that I was approaching it. I was just not being a very charitable and kind guy, and ultimately I was like, you know what? I just want to go for the Eucharist, and it's valid in the Novus Ordo. I know that's not the only thing, but
No, I
I
mean
don't care to hear.
other things are like, I really do think there is something to the fact that the Latin Mass is, there's more actual prayers physically in the Mass. The Missal did change, but overall, I think in most cases, especially with the young priests, the reverence is not lacking with the younger priests.
No, and I think it's beautiful. And anybody who wants to go to TLM like only and whatever, that's I don't have an issue with that at all. Like more power to you. That's great. Um, I just, I do have a problem when people are just like, "Oh, the Novus Ordo sucks, and you can't go there, and this and that." It's like, well, that's not what the church says, right? The
Right.
church is totally fine. So,
Either you
like,
believe the church is the church or you don't.
yeah.
And if the church
So,
is the church, then the declaration made about the Novus Ordo being the legitimate Mass, it has to be real. Now, you can disagree on whether it's as reverent as the TLM. You can disagree on lots of things that are, more of a, whether one's better worship than the other. That's certainly something that could be discussed.
yeah,
But whether or not the sacrifice is occurring and whether or not the transubstantiation is happening at the Novus Ordo, that's not up for debate.
yeah, yeah. So that's where I am with the liturgy. I'm not into the liturgy war anymore. So, just go to mass.
But I will say, if we're going to talk preferences, though, there are some specific hymns that I wish would never be played in the church again.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
sure. No, no, no. I don't like a lot of the music at mass, even at like the regular masses, but is what it is.
yeah.
These days I'm trying most of the time to just keep my kids under control during mass, so I don't really have a lot to brain power to put towards what hymn is being played.
Yeah, yeah, it gets easier as like the oldest kid sets the. And maybe that's a good segue for us to go into before we end the podcast for tonight. As an adult, as a father in the church, what would you say it's like raising kids in this current state of the church? Because I don't feel a lot of people actually talking about it. But you and I, we both got young kids. My oldest is 8. Your oldest is 7, right?
Yeah.
And it's an interesting time to be raising kids in the Catholic Church, especially in America.
Yeah. I wish that I could sort of I wish we could homeschool, really, is what I really would love to do. But being out here in California, it's not impossible, but the way just our lives right now, it doesn't work out. Um, it'd be a lot easier to teach them that kind of stuff. We have them in, well, we have my oldest in religious education right now because he's supposed to do his first communion this year. Um, my but my oldest he's got autism. He's on the spectrum, so there's a little bit of a wrench there. It's hard to teach him certain things. He's pretty high functioning, but his attention span is like non-existent for things that he doesn't want to learn about or whatever. So that's been the hardest part. It's hard, like some of these programs are not very engaging, so I can't even blame him sometimes.
Right.
But just like if he's not interested in it, it's really hard to teach him stuff. So I've been having to figure out other ways to like get them interested in this kind of stuff. My 4-year-old, she loves she soaks everything in like a sponge these days. So she's getting everything that we're kind of trying to teach our oldest. But one way that I've found that they really have been retaining information is like the movies.
Yeah.
They love they love the Prince of Egypt at this point. Because up until just real recently, they were not really interested in films. Like it had to, like if they were gonna watch anything, it had to be like the garbage stuff that's made to entertain small children, right? Like Coco
Paw
Melon and all
Patrol.
that kind of stuff. Now they're like mature enough to be able to sit down, and I can even take them to a movie theater for a little bit. So now that happened, I started putting movies on like the Prince of Egypt. I took them to see David. There's a movie called The Star about the Nativity. It focuses on like the donkey that carries Mary to Bethlehem. They love it.
The Star.
Yeah.
That's like one of Sony's best animated movies ever.
That's great. I love it. So they love all those films, and they're retaining the information pretty well. And then we recently bought this book from Word on Fire. It's called the Story of All Stories. It's a children's story Bible, and that has been amazing. We started reading that during our family like prayer time before they go to bed, and they love it. It breaks it down really easy for kids, and they're learning a lot of stuff like Cain and Abel. I mean, it touches on some of the like stuff like you can't get around talking about how Cain killed Abel, but it does leave other stuff out. We got to the story of like Joseph and the dreams. They didn't talk about like Potiphar's wife or anything like that, but it's got all of the key points. And they're
What did you
retaining
say this was called again?
It's called The Story of All Stories from Word on Fire. Yeah.
And my kids have been really into this show called Superbook. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, they love that book too. Or that show. It's pretty dope too. I walked in when my wife first put that on for them.
Yeah.
And it was like the battle between Satan and Michael the Archangel. And I was like, what are you guys watching? This is awesome.
My 7 or 6-year-old's favorite one is when they're battling Satan.
Yeah, it's dope. Okay. It's so cool.
That's actually based on a Catholic Japanese anime from like the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was an original Superbook that was all cartoon. It was produced by some Japanese studio. And
nice.
It's like a Catholic Japanese crossover thing.
Yeah. I want more of that kind of content. I think we're moving into that space where more people are starting to create things like that for the Catholic world, because that kind of stuff would be awesome. Like I would watch an anime about like the Gospels, like that, no problem.
Well, if you're interested in that though, one cool thing that does exist already is the Action Bible.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, my son loves it. He got through the entire Action Bible probably 3 or 4 times last year. And he knows, like when I'm talking about Bible stories, he can pretty much name what book it's in. He can name everybody that's in that. Like he was so focused in on it. He loved it. I mean, it's really well done.
Nice. I've seen that. I'll probably have to look at it. Yeah, but yeah, it's rough, man. It's sometimes it's just scary, especially like man out here in California. You gotta have like Hawkeyes out for every little thing, especially if they're in public school or whatever, right? So, um, you know, it's not so much. You don't have that kind of worry as much when it comes to the faith, but like there's just the normal like worry, like man, am I doing right by them? Like, are they gonna like my biggest fear is them just like growing up and leaving the church, right? I mean, I certainly did. Well, I wouldn't say I specifically didn't leave like the church, but I did go through my period of time where I turned my back, you know. So I'm hoping that we
I think those
can,
are pretty standard millennial thing, honestly.
yeah, I'm hoping I can spare them though. Like it's just rough. Community is a big part. That helps a lot. We've got some friends who are sort of in the same life space as us, and they've got children around the same age. So like putting them together with them really helps. Um, and that's another benefit of living where I live because we've just got a lot of Catholic community around here. So
Yeah, I think
um,
that's what the most important thing you can do for your kids is give them a community that's Catholic, and definitely
yeah,
do your best to avoid communities which promote things against the faith.
we have a really good school out here um, for elementary, and I guess it goes up to high school, but it's sort of like a feeder school for Thomas Aquinas College. So it's really nice. It's really
Neat.
really reverent and stuff. So it's just it's a private school, so you got to pay for it, but
Yeah.
it's an option out here, and it's really cool. So
Yeah, my kids go to a one of the like 4 or 5 local Catholic schools in this area.
yeah.
And we're very happy with the schooling they've been getting. And they have actual religious class with the priest, so that's pretty cool too.
Oh, that's good.
He's a
That's
priest, so there's that. It's not like just because just having a priest there doesn't mean you're getting good theology. Have you seen Nefarious, the movie?
yes, great
That
movie.
priest would not be a priest I would trust with theology for
Yeah,
my kids.
yeah,
But the priest at my kids' school, he's a genuinely good priest. So
that's good. That's invaluable, man. You
it
can't.
really is like getting an education from somebody who knows what they're talking about, especially in the faith. There's no amount of money that can outdo that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
all right. Well, on that note, is there any questions you have for me?
Um, no, I don't. I don't have any questions. Just
What's
kind of rolling with the
which kind of crucifix is that on the wall behind you?
that is a. I want to say it's a John Paul II crucifix or something.
Looks pretty unique from my perspective right here.
This is
Oh,
we got it
that
for
is different.
for our wedding. There's a big version of this thing um sitting outside the basilica in the town in Mexico where my family's from.
Okay.
Massive version of it. But it's pretty cool. It's got God the Father holding up the Lord on the cross.
Yeah, I've only ever seen that depicted in a couple different like a couple different pieces of art over the years, but it's always interesting to see it like actually physically made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a gift for our wedding. Dusty.
Cool.
But
Well, on that note, if you guys are looking for Lepanto, Mr. Lepanto, whatever you want to call him, where's the best place to find you these days?
I'm most active on Instagram. I haven't been posting a lot in any place, but I'm active on Instagram. If you're on Discord or you're in if you're a creator on the server, obviously I'm there.
Right.
But Instagram is usually the best place. I have lots of plans to like 2026. I'm going to push hard for content. So I've got a lot of stuff already planned. It's just a matter of getting it filmed. I have a few scripts already written. So hopefully this year I'm going to have a lot of content coming out on the YouTube and Instagram. I'm going to be going to as many conferences as I can go to. Except for Seek. I can never really justify Seek because it's so expensive and it comes like right after Christmas and stuff, so it's like it's hard to go as much as I want to go to because it's like so many people and it looks like a lot of fun. I get a lot of FOMO during the Seek conferences. But that's like the one I don't know. I just never can justify that. But I'll be going to the Trent Horn conference, the Conference of Trent. up on April 11th. So I mean, I don't know if you want to if anybody's going to be there, I'll be there if you want to meet me. But there's going to be a lot more cooler people there than me. Brian Holdsworth's going to be there. I'm super excited to meet that guy. I've been a big fan of his content for a long time. I think Joe Heschmeyer will be there. Trent Horn, obviously. Laura Horn's supposedly supposed to be there. Hopefully her health is good and she'll be there because I want to meet her. She's hilarious.
I know Lilo was announced too. She's
Lilo will be there. There's gonna be a lot of people there. A lot of good, a lot of creators there. So if you want to go there to see some of your favorite creator, get some tickets. I think there's like a code too. Just keep an eye out. I don't have it on the top of my head, but
I know the Thomist or Scholastic, whatever you want to call him, behind the channel since 8333 is going to be there too.
Yeah, he'll be there. There's a lot of people, a lot of creators are going to be there. So that's going to be a cool one. I've got the creator conference on the list again this year. That's going to be fun. That's far. Oh, and then in March, I'm gonna try to get out to the live action summit again. So if anybody's going out there, and if anyone's in Southern California, in March, I think it's the third weekend of March. I recommend that. It's pretty cool.
Which one was it again?
The live action young adult summit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be doing all that stuff, and I got plans for content for all of that. So I'll hopefully be a lot more active. So people actually can see my stuff this coming year.
I've got a cool video idea that I gave to somebody else, but they didn't end up using it, that you guys should have a good excuse to come to Michigan for. Do you know where the world's largest crucifix is on planet Earth?
I'm assuming it's in Michigan.
It's an outdoor altar in Michigan.
Nice. Yeah. See, those are the kind of things I do plan on eventually doing, but I kind of have to justify it. Like I got to get this off the ground, right? Like if I'm taking 2026.
I mean, like if Adrian was interested in vlogging something like that, that might be worth it to fly out and do a video on it.
I would love to go with him. Like if he's down, I'm down. He's got a baby coming. Hey, Haley's in the chat. How's it going, Haley?
Yeah, I think his babies due the same month mine is.
Yeah, sure. Everybody. I don't know why all you Catholic creators decided to have babies in April.
Well, who made the comment? It was like, what was going on in July of last year? And then Kyle's like, the conference.
I made that comment. I was like, what's
oh, that was you. That's right. That was you.
What were you guys doing? Were you guys belatedly celebrating the Pope's
listen.
election?
All right.
I don't know.
Do you know what happens for right before the conference for me? At least this past one. It was my anniversary. Okay. I have an out. Not everybody does, but I have an out for the conference. Okay.
Dude, my anniversary. This last year, the anniversary, my anniversary was on the day of the conference.
Yeah. What day is yours?
The 23rd.
Hey, we have the same wedding date.
What year did you get married?
2016.
So did I.
There you go.
That's dope.
That's hilarious. We're doing that. We clearly great minds think alike here. Alike here on that one.
Yeah, the hottest day of the year over here. That day.
Yeah, no, seriously. And no, my church had no AC, none.
Yeah, and I was the only one who couldn't like take off my like 5-piece suit until the photos were done. You know, so
we had our photographer Photoshop the sweat off my back.
Yeah, that's cool. That's dope. So, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I guess you and I we have one more thing in common. There you go.
Yeah.
On that note.
Before I finish, I didn't finish.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I really want to go out and do that kind of stuff. Like, Adrian's got the baby coming, so I don't know if he really would be interested in all that stuff. But eventually, I do want to like fly out because part of my channel, bro. We didn't really get into it, but like the goal of my channel is to show beautiful things, right? Like I want to go out and like really highlight beautiful places. I'm going to do a lot of California focused stuff because
focus on where you are. Cause like, that's the easiest stuff to get to.
Yeah. One, it's easy. It's very accessible to me. Two, there's just so much Catholicism in California. I mean, California is a Catholic place. It started here with the Franciscans, with Junipero Serra. From the north to the south, it's just, there's so many churches. All of our, like so many of our towns, especially our major cities, are all named after Catholic saints or Our Lady or something. So Catholicism is like really deeply rooted in here. So that's part of what I want to start doing, is really showing that California is really a Catholic place, and California needs Christ. So that's kind of one of
Absolutely.
my little slogans that I've got going on, is the California Needs Christ campaign. But I don't want to, just stick to California. So eventually I want to be able to travel. Um, there's like a like the tiniest church is in Texas, like the tiniest like physical church, Catholic church. I would love to go out there and check that out. The crucifix you just said, love to go out there and do a video for that. There's a place in Arizona, this incredible chapel. I forget what it's called, but it's overlooking like the mountains and stuff. It's freaking cool. So stuff like that, I want to eventually be able to justify flying out there and doing videos on that kind of thing. So I am definitely looking forward to that. And then, I've got a lot of documentaries going on too. But yeah, so
If
hopefully we will
anybody's
be able
curious
to.
about what I'm referencing, though, it's called Cross in the Woods, and it's in what is it? It's like Indian River or something like that, Michigan. I've been there like 4 or 5 times in my life. In fact, one of my rosaries I bought there. And my wife and I even visited the place on our honeymoon. It's just kind of a cool little place. It's got a Kateri shrine there.
Oh, nice.
It's a cool place, honestly. So
Those are the
if
best.
anybody's in Michigan, like the northern part, you should stop by there on your way through.
Those are the best places, man. I love them.
So, all right. Well, on that note, thank you for giving me almost 2 hours of your time. It's been fun. Really enjoyed this conversation. And I look forward to seeing what kind of content you're going to produce in the future. And if
Yeah,
anybody's
no,
curious, next week I've got his buddy coming on. So that'll be fun.
oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you having on me. I think I'm the first guy you have on here who has like barely anything to show for himself. So I appreciate that.
I don't know. I've had some Twitter Anon accounts that decided to come on. That was probably definitely less content than what you had on your YouTube channel, like the Kath Squatch. I don't know if you remember that interview. He's got zero
Oh, yeah.
content. And then
Yeah.
the other guy that's a Twitter, he was a Twitter Anon. He had a like a daily meditation thing he does. So I guess technically he does content.
Nice.
But either
Cool.
way, your
Well, yeah.
documentary blows anything I've done out of the water. So I appreciate you coming on here, and I look forward to seeing what else you guys do.
Yeah, if you guys want to see that documentary, by the way, it's on my channel, Mr. Lepanto. You won't miss it. It's the only video there.
And you can find it if you go to the title. I have his YouTube channel tagged in the title, so you can just click right on there and find it. So, all right.
So, well, thanks,
On
Chris.
that note, thank you, and we'll see you guys next Monday. Bye, guys.